The Great Pyramid is a structure defined by its mass, over 2 million blocks of limestone and granite, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons. While we often treat this as a purely architectural marvel, moving that weight required an immense biological input. Behind every stone was a specific amount of human energy that had to be generated, fueled, and replaced. The myth of a starved, enslaved workforce breaks down under the laws of biophysics. To achieve this scale, the laborers needed to be highly productive, which meant they had to be exceptionally well fed. To build the pyramids, ancient Egypt first had to build a nationwide food supply chain, capable of fueling thousands of human engines. Excavations reveal that the people pulling the ropes weren't an enslaved underclass, but a rotating force of free Egyptian citizens. They were organized through the corvée system, a national labor tax where individuals paid their dues to the pharaoh through physical work instead of currency. The timing was dictated by the river. When the annual Nile floods submerged the farmlands, the state mobilized the idle agricultural workforce for these monumental projects. This system converted a seasonal labor surplus into a unified national project, framing the physical exertion as a civic and religious duty to the god-king. To maintain this rotating army of laborers, the state constructed a specialized urban hub directly on the edge of the Giza plateau. This settlement, Heit el-Ghurab, was a planned complex featuring modular barracks for the workforce and administrative zones separated by the massive Wall of the Crow. Archaeologists discovered industrial-scale bakeries here, where workers used bell-shaped ceramic beja molds to mass-produce loaves of emmer wheat bread for the workers' daily rations. This diagram helps illustrate the daily logistics. Sustaining 10,000 workers required nearly 4,000 kilograms of wheat and barley every week to produce the calories necessary for heavy hauling. The scale of this infrastructure shows a deliberate state strategy. The Egyptian administration prioritized the health of these workers, treating their physical output as a critical asset that required constant maintenance. This tomb painting shows the complexity of the protein supply chain. Meat delivery was a just-in-time operation, requiring tens of thousands of cattle, sheep, and goats to be driven from the Nile Delta to the plateau. Analysis of animal remains and stable isotopes in the workers' town shows that what you ate depended entirely on your rank in the project. Overseers were provisioned with prime cuts of beef, while the general laborers subsisted on sheep, goats, and a thick, calorie-dense beer that acted as both a food source and safe hydration. The state used access to high-quality protein as a management tool, distributing rations to ensure productivity and loyalty across the entire hierarchy of the plateau. We see this meticulous tracking in the diary of Inspector Merer. This 4,600-year-old logbook functions as a detailed ledger. It uses red and black ink to separate revenues from expenditures, tracking everything from limestone transport to the exact distribution of bread and beer. This bureaucratic system relied on a vast network of waterways, with cargo boats moving massive supplies across the country to meet daily construction needs. Merer's records demonstrate that the Great Pyramid was the product of a highly sophisticated administrative machine, not just raw physical force. The laborers' physical remains anchor the biological reality of this diet. While their bones show signs of extreme stress from the work, they also reveal a population that was consistently well-nourished. We see this investment in the skeletal evidence of state-sponsored medical care. Skeletons from the Giza cemetery show perfectly healed bone fractures and successful amputations that allowed workers to survive their injuries. Providing this level of advanced surgery and the recovery time required for a common laborer was incredibly rare in the ancient world. The state protected its human engines, affording them elite care and premium diets because their specialized labor was too essential to the national project to lose. We often view this centralized Egyptian state as the creator of the pyramid, but the logistical pressure of feeding 20,000 men on a desert plateau acted as a catalyst. It forced distant provinces to coordinate their livestock production and optimized agricultural output across the entire Nile Valley. The accounting systems used to track Merer's rations became the backbone of Egyptian governance. Long after the construction finished, these same methods of resource management were used to run the nation's economy. Egypt rewired itself to meet the needs of the construction site. By solving how to fuel thousands of workers on the plateau, the pharaohs effectively unified scattered villages into a single cohesive civilization.